Alright guys, welcome back to Beyond the Box Gardens. Today we're going to be starting a series called the Foundation Series. We're going to be taking apart the various subjects and really diving deep on the different parts of a garden, including the soil, the different microclimates, the beneficial insects, so on and so forth, the irrigation strategies, all of that, to really help you learn the most efficient and effective way to garden using the least amount of work, the least amount of water, and getting the most production that you can out of your garden, no matter what space you have, whether it's a small space, a large space, or somewhere in between. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is microclimates. We're starting at microclimates because the microclimate ultimately is the result of all the other pieces that you put into your garden to help it to grow, flourish, and produce the most amounts of produce and flowers that you can possibly produce in your garden. So over here right now, this is our zucchini, pepper plant, nasturtium, and leafy green area. We do have some collard greens and kale growing over here as well, and then we have some beans growing over here. But this whole area is a little microclimate. I say, well, Daniel, what is a microclimate anyway? Well, here we go. Microclimate. A microclimate is a localized area where the weather conditions, temperature, humidity, wind, rainfall differ from the broader surrounding region. These miniature climates can span spaces as small as a garden bed or as large as a valley, often shaped by local landscape features, elevation, and artificial structures. There's a lot of different benefits to microclimates, and we're going to name off some of the really important ones. The first one is that it extends your growing season. All this foliage and leaf matter helps to shade the environment underneath, creating a cooler space. And the second one here is protects against frost because it also traps heat, so it works both directions. Number 3 here is it reduces wind damage. So all of this foliage ultimately acts as a windbreak, so that when wind comes through, as it just did a minute ago, the plants underneath aren't getting continuously moved and rocked and dried out by all that wind. The next thing, and this is one of my favorites, is that it lowers the water use. All of this foliage is keeping my soil underneath cool, and it keeps all the water that I give of my plants in the ground. All the shade that's being provided here is allowing for that water to stay where I'm putting it and just feed the plants and not the air. And of course, that also helps with improving humidity. The water is sitting down here, and as it evaporates slowly, it's staying localized within my microclimate here. It's not just going and blowing away into the wind. Next one here is it raises yields. The big thing about plants is that they are very sensitive to sun stress, heat stress, wind stress, bug stress, and all those stressors. So the idea is to help your plant to be under as little stress as possible, because when it's under little less stress, it basically will make more fruit for you, because it's not putting so much of its energy into surviving. It's putting its energy into reproducing. It allows for greater crop diversity. And here I have not only nasturtium, I also have pepper plants under here. All this zucchini foliage helps to keep all my pepper plants shaded and cool. And of course, like I said before, we have our kale and collard greens over here. We have a bunch of nasturtium. It basically allows for you to have a lot of different plants in one area because all those different plants are benefiting from each other, whether it be from shade or just, being able to repel certain insects, or like the nasturtium do, trap or act as trap crops for unwanted pests like aphids or earwigs. And that leads us to our next one: encourages beneficial insects. This space is acting as a refuge for our ladybugs, for our spiders, for all those good beneficial insects that are going to help take care of those pests like the aphids and the earwigs and all those things that we don't want. And lastly, it also leads to the next one: it improves the soil biology. So by having all of this leaf cover and the shade underneath, the sun itself is a sterilizer. All that UV light sterilizes the soil. If the soil's not covered, it will sterilize your soil and kill your microbes, and thusly kill your ability to free up nitrogen in the soil and help with the nitrogen cycle in your plants. So those are the big things. This is just a short video. Like I said, we're going to be doing a series called the Foundation Series. This is number 1. If you guys want any more information on microclimates, the benefits, how we're producing them, how we're growing them, please leave a comment, and make sure you subscribe and like the video. All these videos take a lot of energy and a lot of work, so it would really, really do me a huge favor just to like, comment, subscribe if you've got anything out of this. Anyway, this has been BTBG. Daniel out. Take it easy.